just don't know how far I put the cursor back.
That's far? Not that far back.
Just the pimento cheese.
It's so many.
Gotta get my Azalea. As the drink goes down, the Azalea flower. I'm ditching the flower.
I got a straw.
I'm gonna eat it.
You ever had like a flower stuffed with cheese?
Chirp, 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 chirp. Well, hello, friends, and welcome to this week here at Amen Corner Studios. It is From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general, good sportsmanship, and exclusivity.
And pimento cheese sandwiches.
I'm your host, Paxton. That is your co-host, Clint Moses. And over there on the ones and twos, Sunset Kelly on the ones and twos. He's been a great caddy for the past few months for us, and we really do appreciate
Looper.
that.
Kelly Mickelson.
Thank you for joining us this week, and it is the Masters week, and we are in Georgia, so it's kind of a big deal. So, Clint, what have you made us?
I have made us the Azalea, the popular flower that people.
Where'd you get these azalea flowers?
And I have a nice azalea garnish here. If you can see it right there, kind of sort of a thing. I just knew Paxton would have some because his blooms a couple times a year, and I was like, all right, I'll just get a garnish when I get there. And I looked out, there was like 18 buds left, and I was like, ooh.
They came and went really fast this year.
I was prepared to just start walking down the street to find somebody was going to have some azaleas that were blooming around here.
You can walk 10 steps in any direction.
Yeah, so I was
here,
like, I'll just go and find them. Because yes, my yellows, my pinks already bloomed, my whites are coming in now.
So I have one big pink, one big white, not a euphemism. And I get a dad boner every year whenever they bloom out. Now, I'm no horticulturalist. I'm no botanist. I can't grow anything but hard herbs like rosemary and thyme. But those azaleas, they do it on their own.
They do. I cut mine back behind my workout shed when I moved in because I had to put the fence up and stuff. And they have already, in 3 years, full size back.
Oh, yeah.
My ones in the front, though, kind of got cold in that freeze this year. I didn't get much out of those. But I'm going to trim them in June when you're supposed to trim them, and they'll pop back next year.
So what is in this cocktail
the azalea,
that we have? The azalea.
Popular, not at the Masters cocktail. We'll get into more of that in a minute. But a cocktail to enjoy while watching the Masters. So it is vodka, Finlandia vodka.
Of course.
The official vodka of the Masters, apparently. Finlandia vodka, lemon juice, a little bit of grenadine or maraschino cherry juice is what I used.
Yep.
And pineapple juice. And you shake the life out of it and pour it in there. It's not as pink as it was the first time I made it, but I'll pink it up on the next round.
There you go. And putting the froth on it almost gives it a carbonated sort of vibe to
Yeah,
it.
the pineapple juice froth.
It's really nice. So yesterday,
And it tastes way better than I thought it would.
it tastes really good. The lemon is giving me a little.
Yeah.
I had a buddy yesterday at work. I'm going to talk all about yesterday's shift in a little bit, but a friend of the show and patron, Mike Lynch, he was like, "Hey man, going to the Masters. Want me to bring you anything back?" And the first thing I thought, I was like, pimento cheese sandwich. I was like, "Nah, man, you're gonna have to have a cooler and all that." So I asked him for a white hat. So then when we got here today in our pre-production meeting, I was like, pimento cheese.
We didn't talk about any Masters stuff. I put it with my Masters cups from 2015 when I went, Kelly's got his Masters hat on. We were all just kind of.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, yeah.
I know. I thought we could have golf clubs up here. But
Yeah, I was like, now we have a theme. Well, maybe in the second half, I'll bring the clubs up.
So I didn't buy a shirt when I went. I got a blanket, the softest blanket, and a hat, of course, and the cups you get when you get beer. Because you get beer, if you've ever been to the Masters, beer is served in these 16-ounce cups. It doesn't say what kind of beer it is. They have like three kinds. Like I went, they had Bud Light, Killian's, and Heineken were the three beers they had.
All on draft.
All on draft. And this nondescript, there's no advertising for anything at the Masters. No one has any banners. Like, unlike every other golf tournament, there's no outside advertising. It's just the Masters. Which basically,
What about on the clothes? What about like their golf bags?
That's the golf bags that have the top, who made the bag on it.
Yeah.
But they're not like, they're not NASCAR decorated up.
Yeah. Or and just around the place.
They're just not banners hanging up or anything.
Yeah.
It's just the Masters. Our own Kelly is from Augusta, so he knows a lot about the
He
Masters.
does know a lot about
But
that.
the pimento cheese sandwiches are always the talk of the town, if you will.
Yeah.
Of the Garden City, as Augusta is known.
Oh, I didn't
Not to be confused with shitty Garden City in Savannah.
yeah.
Nothing garden about that
It's
city.
the Garden City, not Garden City.
But when you go eat there, they only have like 6 things to eat. Right? Like there's 6 different kinds of sandwiches. But during the day, it's pimento cheese sandwiches and egg salad on white bread made by someone's grandma.
In a triangular.
Cut into triangles. And since 1934, they have not gone above the price of $1.50.
That's like the Costco hot dog.
It's the cheapest professional sports steak ever.
Yeah.
It's the Huckapoos of
Yeah, right.
all of it. It really is.
Yeah. So Paxton wondered, how many sandwiches do you think they go through?
I posited. Well, not. Well, I was just like tonnage of pimento cheese.
Because they go through. So there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's practice rounds. Wednesday being the par 3 tournament.
And are people allowed to be there, onlookers from Monday and?
Yeah. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can openly take pictures with your phones and stuff. And it's not just press being allowed to, but on
Right.
Thursday, on the actual tournament days, you cannot take pictures. I mean, with cell phones now,
You
it's
have to
not
put your
hard.
phone in a locker, I think.
Yeah, do they do lockers now?
I think so, yeah.
Damn.
Every year it evolves.
Pull that mic closer.
Every year it evolves.
Yeah, because I went in 2012 and 2015. It was there. I went on a Tuesday in 2012 and a Wednesday in 2015, and so we were allowed to take pictures. Not, cell phones are good, not great, but
Yeah.
now I mean you can probably just. But I guess if you bring your phone in to put it in a locker, you could easily just have another phone.
Oh, right. Here, here's my. If they hand them a flip phone. Here's
Here's
Well,
my
the
phone.
last time I went, it was like TSA. I mean,
Oh yeah, you got to go through like a machine.
yeah. So they know if you have a cell phone on
body scan. Or open your arms out
you.
like the
Just
Leonardo
about,
da
just
Vinci.
about.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, so yeah.
So pimento
So-
cheese sandwiches.
All right. So you guys want to posit a guess on how many pimento cheese sandwiches? We'll just go through a day. How many pimento cheese sandwiches do they go through in a day?
Like a Monday through the Wednesday or a Thursday through the Sunday? Where,
On,
like,
on an average for any of those days of the week, how many pimento cheese or how many sandwiches do they just go through?
I would say 2,000.
I'm going to say 10.
1,000?
10,000?
100,000 sandwiches a day.
Holy shit. That's
You
a
gotta
lot.
think. All right, if there's, I don't know how many people they let in, but
That's what I'm saying. We need to know those metrics.
yeah.
And they don't give those away.
No, they don't tell you. So it's there. I mean, there's a lot of
like
people there. It's
Netflix.
packed. But the thing is, if you're there for 12 hours, you're going to have 3 or 4 sandwiches.
And if that's the only, and if you're drinking beer, you're like,
Yeah.
I would house
And you're
10.
walking a lot.
You're doing a lot of walking.
A lot.
I would house,
walking up
like-
and down the hill.
Like 10 pimento cheese sandwiches if I was chugging beer.
the thing is, I had the first one and was like, "Whoa, shit! I need about 4 more of these."
Do they serve liquor there?
When
or
I
is
went,
it
they
just
didn't.
beer?
It was just
Yeah.
I don't think so, yeah.
I think they want
Not
to
on
keep the crowd from getting too raucous,
Yeah, but I know the most raucous MFers that just drink beer.
That's very true. That's very, very true. But when they drink liquor, it gets even worse.
Yeah, right.
So there's around the azaleas. There's all kinds of lore because they're always blooming, especially at Amen Corner, where there's just
Yep.
just piles of them, and it always looks perfect and beautiful. It's because if a piece of pine straw is out of place, someone fixes it. But people have always wondered, how do they keep their flower? How do they get them to bloom at the right time every year? And obviously, the most advanced horticulturists in the world are working on this,
Sure.
so they have figured it out. But there was a rumor for a long time,
MSG.
and I want to know if this is true or false.
Okay.
The club lays ice on the azalea beds to help them bloom for the tournament.
True.
True.
False. Because
I went with Kelly. He's from Augusta.
for starters, ice would shock the plants or melt too fast. You have to have your own in-house ice manufacturing facility to cover that much ground. I mean, that's a lot.
We're getting
of
roasted here.
plants.
But imagine the money they spend on everything. Like
Yeah.
a couple
Look,
$100 grand on ice
That's
wouldn't
what they're
matter.
shooting ice on the plants, but apparently they don't do that. But I'm sure it's places where they have ground temperature control. I'm sure around them and stuff.
Okay, so what is is there, that was just a rumor?
They won't.
Oh, they're not.
They're not coming.
I still think it's
they're
true.
just well taken care of.
Well, look, they're blooming here at my house right now, and it is Masters Week, so it might just be
They don't discuss anything.
aliens.
I think it's true.
All right,
I
so
really
do you?
do. It would tell you
they
they
said
did
it's
it.
it said it's false. But the horticulturist is. So another one. Hostages were once taken at the club by a man demanding to speak to President Ronald Reagan.
true.
False.
True. True. A man literally got on the course and took some people hostage to talk to Ronald Reagan.
The 80s.
Did they talk to the 80s?
Reagan was on the course of the day.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get out there and talk.
He was
to
like, I
Reagan.
hated your last movie before you became
So
president.
there's a house in the middle of a Masters parking lot that the owners won't sell.
Yes.
I got to go with Kelly on this. True.
Always been a polite but firm no. They do not sell it. Will not sell it.
It's in
Herman
the
and Elizabeth
parking lot?
Thacker. It's in the middle of the parking lot. They're just hanging out there, and they're
The
like,
revamp
"Nah, son."
parking lot.
But how much? What a hassle that would be. Like, no, I'm not selling it. And then, well, I guess it's only once a year.
There is one palm tree on the course.
I'll say false.
There is exactly one palm tree,
And they brought it in
on
for,
the third hole, and they just no. I guess it's just been there. They cut it back and kind of do whatever, but it's just there.
Because here in Savannah on Victory Drive, each palm tree lining Victory Drive represents someone who died in WW2,
Really?
Vietnam, something like that. You Savannians can fact check me. I'm probably all the way wrong.
Yeah, the
All right.
telecast pipes in fake bird sounds.
Yes, true.
False. According to the Masters, they don't, but some ornithologists said they were hearing sounds from birds in 2000 that could not have been from local birds. And they're like, look, there's local birds. Why would we pipe in bird noises?
It's really like going into a vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the nicest part of Augusta.
Well, I mean, in the film Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, they figured out where they were on the Ping Islands because of the birds. So I trust
Ping Islands?
the Ping Islands. See?
Cattle roamed the grounds during World War II to maintain the course because they closed for a little while due to World War II.
I've heard goats, too.
They apparently, Bobby Jones brought in 200 cattle, and their grazing would keep the grounds in acceptable condition, but they could later be sold. Solidarity, however, according to the Masters.com, things did not turn out as planned. When the club closed, work stops the annual planting of winter grass, and Bermuda grass, the grounds became dormant. Little in the way of food. See what the cows started eating? The
The
azaleas.
azaleas? Those are Kobe cow, azalea cows. That's that sweet meat.
I'm gonna
Well,
drop this one.
if anyone's going to the Masters this week, tell us how
A
it
patron
went.
was once arrested for stealing sand.
Probably true.
Yeah, a guy in 2012, a guy named Clayton Baker got arrested. Cost him $20,000 in legal fees and other costs associated with the stunt.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah, so,
along with Masters Week, you know what other week it is, and it's going to be the week for a while.
The first full week of baseball.
It's spring freaking break, and it is in full force here on Tybee. We're a little tiny island, but we're the closest beach town on the East Coast, from
You got Hilton Head, and then you got
on the Georgia coast is us and St. Simon.
St. Simon's, yeah.
Pretty much, whatever. And people come from all around.
And
People,
so the closest beach to Atlanta,
true, yeah.
Macon,
Yeah.
the larger cities in Savannah, besides Savannah itself. And
Yeah.
so, and we, there's a lot of beach in Savannah. And so people like to, and it was once a very affordable destination compared to Hilton Head, which is a little more pricey. St. Simon's a little less classy somehow.
Yeah. Well, and Hilton Head, it's so spread out. You have to, you go to one little enclave, and that's where
Yeah,
you
and
stay.
it's Hilton Head, and there's nothing. The city close to Hilton Head is Savannah.
Yeah.
So we're next to there's no city. Brunswick and St. Simon's aren't a
Yeah.
city. They're they're towns pretty much. So we're close next to a city. So we
Yeah.
have an airport you can fly into.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go to Hilton Head, you fly into Savannah as well. So that's kind of contributes to the spring breakiness of it all.
And people know that it's like a hood rat destination, sort of, because
Yes.
people come down here to show their hood. But this weekend, I don't know whose spring break it was, but we did have some people from South Carolina.
And I think the public schools are on spring break this week too here.
Okay, yeah,
So-
we didn't have I worked Thursday day. We didn't have that many teenagers that look like like high
Well,
school.
that'll be this week we're into now.
Oh,
is.
gotcha.
So enjoy your Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be great. So I had a few weird drink requests. Well, it wouldn't be weird in other places, but at Huckapoo's, 3 times I was asked for a Mai
Can I have an
Tai.
azalea?
Right. I got asked for a Mai Tai, and I was like, I seriously don't know what's in one. And I was like, so I asked the first person, I said, I'll make you a Mai Tai. What's in it? They said, oh, light rum, dark rum, and blue curacao. So I was like, I will make that for you, right? 2-3 hours later, entirely different set of people, different group. Someone says, hey, I would like a Mai Tai.
So you make them the way you made the first one.
No, I said, what's in it? They said, light rum, dark rum, sour mix, pineapple. I made them that. Cut to 2 hours later, whole new group of people. I would like a Mai Tai.
Jesus, Mai Tai Christ.
And might I make you a Mai Tai? A whole different set of ingredients. This time it was always light rum, dark rum, and then they said grenadine and something else. So I made
So yeah, I'm looking at recipes right now, and the original is aged rum, coconut rum. So an aged and spiced rum, coconut rum, pineapple juice, orange juice, and grenadine's one. Some have lemon juice instead of grenadine.
one was just literally liquor, curacao, and 2 rums. And
And they say orange curacao. is also one of the ingredients we put in there.
Okay. And I was looking at the drink, the color. It was a bad color. It looked like a Jeffrey. And she took a sip. She was like, "This is perfect." I was like, "Okay." I also got asked for mojitos a couple times. I was like, "Yeah, we don't have mint." And he goes, "Can you make it without it?" I was like, "So you want a Bacardi and soda with a lime?"
That's
That's pretty much what it is, right? Yeah. And he goes, "No, I'll just have a beer." I was like, "All right, fine." So being at spring break and we were super busy. So if you're unfamiliar with Huckapoo's, it's a big place.
Get familiar.
Yeah. And we don't have a host or a hostess. So I'm working the outside bar yesterday, and I see this couple with their teenage kid. And the lady comes up, a little frazzled. She was like, "Hey, is it really first come, first serve here?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a madhouse out there. I do my normal jokes. Keep your head on a swivel, intimidate someone out of their chair, or whatever." She was
sit with some strangers. Do they have room?
Yeah, right, yeah. So she's a little perturbed. Up comes the husband, and he plops. She orders him a drink already. He plops down. I was like, "I can't believe it." I mean, he's scowling, and I'm not in a bad mood at this point.
How dare they not have me happy?
Right, yeah. And so I was like, I had no intention of turning them around because, like, if you're at Poo's, you should have a good time anyways. Like, it's a fun place. I mean, yeah, it's a little chaotic, but it's a fun place. So there's another couple sitting next to them that were lucky to get a seat at the bar. And then there was a guy, like 3 or 4 more people standing over in the corner, like in earshot. So I start telling the guy, I was like, "Hey, man," he goes, "Is there really not a host or a hostess?" I was like, "No, sir. So let me lay it out for you. If you look around, we probably have 6 entrances. You know what I mean? You got the big stairs in the front. You got the ramp in the back for the
You get 3 sets of stairs in the front, ramp in the back for handicap, and then the ramp on the other side. There's stairs on the other side.
We got a back door. I mean, there's a million places to enter. I was like, we can't have a host or a hostess at each of the bottlenecks. And when we did try to have them, what would happen is a seat would get up, our host or hostess would try and take them there, and someone else would run up, and it would cause more kerfuffles than anything. So I'm continuing to explain, and this group is coming in closer and closer as if we're around a campfire telling ghost stories. And when I get done with the whole spiel, I had 10 people like, "This place is cool as shit, man. Thank you for..."
You get a golf ball?
Yeah, thank you for understanding.
Like a golf fap.
Yeah, I know that was kind of fappy. But I noticed them like, sort of closing in. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get herded on or lynched." But no, they were like, "Oh," because sometimes all it takes is like, I know the frustration of a customer. 5 minutes to a customer is like, is 5 minutes to a customer is like 1 minute in real time.
Yeah, I've been waiting for 20 minutes. It's been 5, sir.
So I was telling the other bartender that, and he was like, "Yeah, that's funny because whenever I tell people it's going to be 45 minutes for their food, I write the time that they ordered on the ticket. And when they go, 'Hey, it's been 45 minutes.' And he holds up the ticket. He's like, 'Actually, it's been 23 minutes.'" Which is a really stark thing. And I understand.
Yeah.
Like you're waiting on something and, it's just so crazy busy. And if someone else's stuff comes out and you don't know when they ordered,
then you're mad. Do you think they may have ordered, or you don't understand that some things take longer to make than others? Like nachos are quick,
nachos are fast, pizza's long. Yeah.
There's only so much oven space. Yeah, people that get on a wait get you turn into a different animal.
It's like dog years, 3 minutes to 7 minutes.
Yeah, you guys don't take reservations? That's weird.
Yeah. But where you're at, like spring break, wouldn't really matter.
Some, but not too much. I mean, you'll get families with children that are on spring break coming in, but that's about it. We don't get a lot of the young spring break crowd. There'll be 4 or 5 tables a night, and we're on a wait all night, every night.
No matter what.
No matter what. And our ownership smartly just changed the menu to make it less saute heavy. Added 13 new items, took away 4. That's not good math. 8 of the new 13 items, saute. I'm like, what are y'all? And then saute station is only one big enough for one guy.
I was going to say, is there like 6 burners?
It's just hell.
Yeah.
And so the kitchen's having a hard time with a larger menu getting food out. So they're actually losing money because we have to go on a wait because the kitchen can't keep up. Instead of rolling out the menu slowly by adding 2 items every couple weeks or something.
That's crazy.
They just blasted them with it because one of the owners wanted all this new stuff. And the corporate chef helped them design the menu. He hasn't come in and worked saute, and I was like, you need to put him on saute and the head chef. Let them deal with it for a night. And
See what they.
Because if our saute guy, who's great, he works the same schedule I do. I think
Yeah.
I work with him every night I work. If he leaves, they effed.
So one of the first fine dining restaurants I worked at, I worked as a busboy and a dishwasher, and saute was
An upscale restaurant, saute is usually, if you're in a steakhouse,
Yeah.
saute is getting the brunt of the pain.
and it was like this dude. I mean, if you saw him on the street, you wouldn't be like, "This is no Escoffier," but in the kitchen, this dude's got every saute pan. He had an 8-burner, and he ran them all. Just
This dude also has to do like anything that goes in the oven to get baked. He has to do that too. I'm like, guys, get. I mean, I'm not a kitchen organizer, but god damn it,
yeah.
it's kind of a shit show in there.
Well, that's the thing. You got to come up, especially as a cook or back of house. The people that start as a dishwasher and then they go to salad and then they go to fry and then they go to grill.
Fry, grill. Yeah, saute is the pinnacle.
And then if they become like managerial position, they have that implicit knowledge not to add 6 new saute items
Yeah.
to an already overworked saute guy.
Yeah, and it's just I'm thinking like they got to realize eventually like they're losing money. They're still making money, obviously, but like they're losing money they could be making. 'Cause like Friday night, like I was a double Friday, and like at 8:15 we were on a 45-minute to an hour wait, and I was like, "Look, can you cut me?" She's like, "Oh yeah, you're a double." And normally we would close at 11. They wouldn't cut so much about 9:30, but since I've been there all day,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Look, everyone has 3 to 4 open tables. There's no way you're gonna fill this restaurant again. So can I go home?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And the servers got all mad at me. I'm like, "Y'all just got here. Like, eat a dick. I've been here all day."
I'm on a double, baby.
I did take a 20-minute hood break. I think I told you about this last week, and I'll tell this right here. It was great. So what I did on my break on Friday on my double, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change my socks. I'm gonna eat my salad. So I take my name tag off. I go down the street on this unknown cobblestone street in Savannah. There's a little shady area I sit down in. I take my shoes and my socks off. I dry my feet with a bar towel. Put 2 towels down. Prop my bare feet down on the ground and sit there and eat my salad out of a box with my feet hanging out. And people were like, a couple people walked by and looked at me kind of weird. And like, this one guy kind of stared for a second. I was like, this ain't the weirdest thing you're going to see today down here.
They're like, that's the nicest dressed homeless person I've ever seen.
And then I put my new socks back on and went back to work.
And it's so true. That is not the weirdest thing you're going to see.
But like, I was only gone for like 15, 20 minutes. And like, I've been just running through these doubles at 13 hours straight and was like, this 15 minutes, I may have missed a table or maybe 2
Yeah.
worth every penny I lost because it resets your mind. You just take a little breather.
That's a meditation, even if you have to do it in an alley with
One of
your
my
shoes
coworkers
off.
was like, why'd you go down the street and change socks? I'm like, do you want me to do it in the restaurant somewhere? Because
Right,
that's
yeah.
worse. Like, when you go to the bathroom, I'm like, no, I can't. I barely fit in the bathroom. The damn the cabinets in front of the toilet. I never had to poop in there, thank God. But like, I tried it one day in there and I was like, no.
Kelly just moved into a new apartment,
I did.
and I went and visited him a week or so ago, and I went to go pee. If I would have had to turn around and sit down, my knees would have went through the wall. So the rest of his house,
You shit sideways?
Almost.
you'd either have to really like man spread.
So no squatty potty for you.
If you're above a certain height, you're not. It's.
I looked at an apartment downtown one time. I was living somewhere. I wanted to be closer to, like, I was like in the historic district. I was like, if you're not from here, I was like around 32nd Street or whatever. And my rent was had gotten almost doubled in the course of the 4 years I was there. I was like, I got to get out of here. So I'll move something a little bit smaller. This guy doesn't list the dimensions of this apartment online. He just says it's an efficiency apartment behind our house. So I go meet these people.
Like a carriage house?
Like a carriage house, yeah, basically.
So it wasn't connected.
Yeah, so it's on Taylor. It's a nice. So I walk in. They have like classical music playing and incense burning. And I could smell the
Fresh baked
I
bread.
could smell a little bit of like they were trying to cover the smell of weed they'd been smoking. And they're like in their like early 60s.
Yeah.
And their house is, I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I go out through this courtyard and they're just kind of telling me things. One of which was, we like to kind of kick it easy here. And after about 10 o'clock at night, we want things to be quiet. I was like, well, I don't get off work till like 11.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be up doing stuff. They're like, we'd prefer if you just took everything during the day. I'm like, well, this is already not going to work, but I'm already in it. So I'm going to go see.
And, it's nice, pleasant old stoners.
One, there was no way a couch was getting in this place. 2, the bed would have been hell. But the bathroom, you had to shit sideways. There was literally a foot clearance between the toilet and the cabinet. And so I looked at
That's
it.
what I got.
And I looked at it, and the bathtub was on the other side, so you had to face out into the room. And I was like, "How would you poop in here?" He goes, "Oh, it'll work." And I'm like, and I wanted to go
Demonstrate.
Sit down right now, buddy.
Well, it's weird. I know you're trying to maximize, like, especially downtown Savannah, if you have a carriage house, but like, you're trying to maximize space in other places, whatever. But who designs?
This would have been quaint for like a 5'1" Asian SCAD student.
Right.
But
yeah.
he didn't look at me when I walked in the door and go, "No, man." At the time, I was like I was like, what's what I was taking? I was working on a lot at Armstrong, so I was beefy. I was like 220. I'm taking creatine.
Doesn't even matter. You're tall.
I'm tall. I'm 6'1" and some change. I'm like, dude.
And I know that people
They weren't tall.
I know that people omit certain things from listings, so that you don't turn someone off right away. But there should be like a legal clause that says,
just say, hey, if you're over 5'8", this is gonna suck.
do you like your knees touching the wall when you?
It was. I walked in there. It was like, ugh. I'm not claustrophobic. When I got there, I was like, like the ceiling was low. Like everything was uncomfortable. Like you walk in a room and you can put both your hands on the ceiling without locking your arms.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to be in here.
Well, Kelly and I were talking about my old apartment last night, and I had to lean to the left just to take a shower.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because it was
First
actually
time I went into your bathroom, I was like, ew, this is uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. And then I get here, and I've got, literally a palatial bathroom. I can spin around with my arms
You
out.
turn yourself right around.
Right around. Speaking of hobos on the street with their socks off, this guy walked up on Saturday, and he had a jersey on with every NBA team. White dude. Every NBA team. He's got a backwards Miami Heat hat that looks like the Technicolor. It's like in different light. It's a different color.
Hypercolor hat.
Hypercolor. That's what I meant.
Hypercolor is when you.
Oh, that's when you.
That's when you touch the shirt and it would leave your handprint. They should bring those back. Kids would love those.
Oh, hell
Trademark
yeah.
or something.
Guitar case.
This is not good.
Guitar case. Backpack. Packed to the brim with whatever. Right.
Socks. Dirty socks.
So I'm like, I'm immediately like, this dude's either gonna sit here and like busk and try and play guitar, or he's gonna pay for his beer in quarters, or he's gonna run everyone off. This dude is the bride of the ball. He never pulls the guitar out. He sits down. He orders 3 Bud Lights, and I'm like, I'm not gonna, he's not gonna run away really fast with all of his shit.
Got all this stuff on him. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't need to take a card from him, and we weren't that.
He
busy
probably didn't
yet.
have a card. Prepaid card.
It wasn't that busy yet. So I was like, he'll be fine. So he turns to talk to this couple.
Did he smell?
No smell at all. He goes, well, my next stop is going to be, somewhere south of here. So I'm like, all the red flags are flying, the bells are ringing. And I was like, this, not money-wise, that wasn't my first thought. I thought he was going to be a public nuisance.
Yes, it sounds. He looks like a common public who's in this area.
All the hallmarks are there.
Age, like train kid age.
No. He was mid-40s probably.
Okay.
Because back in the past, we've had 3 separate hobo situations at Huckapoo's where the guys ended up like living there and like stealing our forks and making fork sculptures and selling them in the parking lot.
Mike, that's why you hired Mike, right?
We've had 3 guys like that. Okay. Happy Nappy was the last guy's name. And Eric had to drag him out through the parking lot, but he was dragging him in such a way, and he didn't have a shirt on, that all the rocks were piling up into his pants because we have a rock.
Dude was like, I'm not going.
He goes, please just turn me the other way. He just wanted him to turn him around the other way.
Hold him by his feet instead of his arms.
Instead of his arms.
But everybody want to touch his feet because they're probably disgusting.
So this guy turns, the hobo-looking guy, he turns to the couple, and he's like, where you guys from? They're having a blast. He goes, you know what, brother? He's like, it's getting a little hot out here. I think I'm going to go inside. Let me close out with you. 3 Bud Lights, $6. Hands me a card. I get it back. $15 tip.
Damn.
I was like, is he a trust fund hobo?
That's what a lot of those train kids are trust fund hobos.
Yeah, because like if you're a train kid and you got a cell phone,
Well, anybody can get a cell phone now. Some of them are cheap as shit.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been in prison.
About that, yeah. Yeah.
And that cell phone's been.
That's called a sausage wallet. That's called a suitcase right
there,
man.
the prison wallet.
Well, yeah. So I was very pleasantly surprised, and then for the rest of the day, like and then coming up in the second half, my Karen isn't a person; it's a business. That's what you call a tease in the business.
Yes, and my Darren involves the Masters. A master Darren.
No. Oh no. We went from intern to apprentice to master there. Oh my God. We've got levels here. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you in the second half. Friends, we'll see you in the second half.
Ever wanted to start a podcast? Don't have the equipment or the know-how? Well, we've got you covered. From Behind the Barcast is expanding into the commercial studio space. You see, step one is making sure you sound great, because no matter how good your content may be, people don't want to listen to something that sounds like this. From Behind the Barcast and Paxton Eugene Productions now offer in-studio audio and video production. Or the studio can come to you. We offer mobile podcast production from wherever you are. Now, with the hard part out of the way, there's no excuse for you not to get started. So if you're in the Savannah area, shoot us an email at FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com for details and a quote. Again, that's FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com, and let's get your voice heard.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to From Behind the Barcast. It is Masters Week, so now I've put on my Masters shirt that our friend Pit Stop Kelly got for me a couple years ago.
Yes.
So hopefully soon I'll have the white hat to match from Mr. Lynch. But walking
Wearing
around,
all white is always a brave.
super brave, especially for me.
And when Shay got married, he wanted all white linen for his wedding and white shell toes. And I may have thought the podcast more, but I lived at 32nd and Abercorn, which is right by the park, pretty much. So we were going to walk from my house to Forsyth where they got married, and my boy Richard showed up with shoe covers, like for the hospital. And this one guy, Dan, who was a douchebag about the whole thing. Like, why am I buying this thing? I'm never wearing it again. I'm like, just your friend's wedding. It's like a $75 outfit in total. So we're walking. He's complaining about it, and one person stepped in gum, and one person stepped in something else. So we took him off. There was gum on someone's shoe and something on someone else's shoe. I was like, this works.
That's like the booties that Mark Wahlberg put on at the end of The Departed. Yeah, that's really smart.
We had quite a few drinks. Speaking of having a few drinks, we need to go back into our newest segment.
It's the quote of the week.
That song changed a little bit. Okay. Something going on.
My computer keeps playing some of my rando music, but it's the quote of the week.
So at a bar last weekend before last with some of my buddies, and my buddies, we'll just call him Scuba, we're at Social Club. I'm the youngest person in my group. I'm 41. Okay, everyone else is 44 or older.
And at the Social Club,
on a Saturday night,
you're probably the oldest person by like 15 years.
I mean, the average age there was 26. There were some 75-year-old creepy men there, like leering at young ladies. So my buddy's like, there's this cute, short, like 5'1", 105-pound girl. And he's like, she's kind of pretty. I'm going to go buy her a drink. Now, this guy is not, he's not the kind of guy that, one, goes and just buys girls drinks. And two, he still dresses like he went to a rave last week in 1999. Love him to death. But he's just, some people, you find that era of fashion and you just stay with it forever.
Well, that's a trope.
He's got the belt with the studs all over it, the whole all studded all around kind of thing you know what I'm talking about.
Well, Jinkos, does he have those?
like big shorts on, kind of half hanging off his ass, t-shirt, shaved head, just.
Well, they say as an adult you dress like you dressed in the prime of your life.
Yes.
I guess.
So he's like, I'm gonna go buy that girl a drink, and I'm like, no, you're not. He goes, why? I was like, you could be her dad. Like your dad's, you might not even be your age. And so V comes at the bathroom, and I'm like, he's gonna go buy that girl a drink. He goes, a drink? That girl's so goddamn small, she could get drunk off water. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty quotable.
She might be too drunk off.
She was so small she could get drunk off water. I was like, that's not too bad. It's better than the one that I had. They were on that night. We were all trashed. I was like, if you can't handle the heat, take a shit in the kitchen.
That's kind of true for Huckapoos because I think it would be even next to the 550-degree pizza ovens.
Yeah, if you can't handle the heat, take a shit in the kitchen.
Especially at Huckapoos 2 Thursdays ago, the bathroom was cooler than the outside. So every time I went to pee, see, when I work daytimes on Thursdays, I can't go down the ramp, the executive bathroom to pee, because it's completely daylight.
The coffee shop's open.
And the coffee shop's open, all that stuff, So
nice drip.
I have to use the actual bathroom, And I do have this modicum of respect. Even at night, if I'm still serving food, I'll go pee in the actual bathroom just so I can wash my hands. You know, if I'm handing people slices of pizza or whatever. But we were on the break. We were talking about the pimento cheese sandwiches at the Masters, and I had remembered I've seen something called palmetto cheese. Now I thought that it was just like some dumb crackers that couldn't say pimento, so they just called it palmetto cheese. But apparently, it is an
actual. So palmetto cheese is from South Carolina, from Easley, South Carolina, in the Duke's factory. So you know that shit's good because it's made with Dukes.
Is it the same
palmetto
Dukes?
cheese? The pimento cheese with soul.
So it's pimento cheese with Dukes, but then there's probably some sort of soul flair in there. I wonder what the secret ingredient would be. See, the secret ingredient...
Sold at 9,000 grocery stores in 44 states, and it is fire.
I think the secret ingredient in the Masters one is racism. So I wonder what...
Well,
I've never seen Clint cringe like that before.
Co-founder Sassy Henry perfected pimento cheese recipe while living in Atlanta, serving the spread to friends at Braves tailgating in the mid-'90s. In 2002, her and her husband moved to Paulsley Island, South Carolina, to take over control of this Seaview Inn, and they started serving Sassy's pimento cheese
Polly's or
recipe.
Palsy?
It's Polly's, right?
Polly's.
Yeah, that
The hell did I
palsy.
say?
Cerebral palsy island.
Cerebral palsy island. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake that up. So eventually...
Continue. I'll tell the story.
Eventually, she was selling these pimento cheeses at this inn they own, this palmetto cheese spread at the inn they own, and then it started going to local food lines, Piggly Wiggly, and then it took off, and it is so good.
Yeah, so they sell
And I
it.
ain't gonna lie, I thought Sassy was not gonna look like she does.
Oh, really? Is she thin?
She is not fit. Yeah, she's average-sized white lady from the Georgia.
Did she what?
I know. I thought she was gonna be black. Her name's Sassy.
Well, making all right. It's kind of appropriation if you're a white lady going, "Oh, I make pimento cheese with soul." That's like the Pat Boone of pimento cheese.
Oh wait, maybe this is not Sassy. Maybe this is somebody else.
It's like the marketing director. Are you on her LinkedIn or something like that?
Sassy. What did I say her last name was?
Palsy Island. I was locked up with this dude. The funniest dude. So, my middle name's not Eugene. I don't know. Spoilers. But people know me as Paxton Eugene. And where I got that from was I was locked up with this dude. And he had cerebral palsy, but it was like his legs were pretty good. He, his gait was a little wonky.
She white as fuck.
His gait was a little wonky, but his mind was, like he was the Don Rickles of the jailhouse. Like talking about roasting people. And like in our pod, there were some tough dudes in there. And he would talk shit to them. So his thing was everyone that came in, he'd be like, "What's your name, man?" And I'd be like, I'm Paxton. He goes, "All right, Paxton Eugene. What's your name?" He's like, "I'm Rodney." He's like, "Rodney Eugene. Good to meet you."
Everybody was Eugene?
Everyone was blank Eugene. So then, funnily enough.
His name wasn't Eugene, though?
No,
He wasn't like making you
his
his
name was
kids?
Mark.
He
Yeah.
wasn't sunning you?
His name was Mark. I remember his last name, but I'm not going to say it. His name was Mark. And so, funnily enough, Wiley, my buddy, I said, "Wiley Eugene, what's up?" He goes, "I've never told anyone my middle name." I was like, "Your middle name's actually Eugene?"
Oh, shit.
He goes, "Yeah, call me Gina."
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
But yeah, so pimento/palmetto cheese sandwiches leads right into my
Oh shit! It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Is the cursor or something?
my iTunes just kept opening and was playing random songs or whatever. So this week's Karen of the Week isn't an actual person. It is the IGA Tybee Market. It's our local grocery store. So when the boys got here today, I presented them with a few items. I said, "Look, I have a half of a baguette," or it's not even a baguette. It's just like a
He didn't
large.
present. He showed them to us and put them away.
Yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, we get a sandwich."
Well, I was just like, "See this bread? Okay. See these meats? Okay. See this Duke's mayonnaise? Okay. See these
Tomatoes.
see these iceberg lettuce, which I would iceberg lettuce,
It's for a sandwich.
See this tomato that I've cut a bit out of? See this deli cheese that I bought? So I go to the IGA today, and I'd planned on getting a few odds and ends, but IGA is famous for their sub sandwiches. They're very reasonably priced, and they're stacked to the
They're
gills.
thick like a Baldino's sandwich.
Oh man, they are just. I mean, if you're hungover, they're 2 meals.
You can't eat this sandwich and drive a car at the same time.
Yeah, there's a law against that.
It's one
on
of
the
those sandwiches,
label.
You pick it up and you don't put it down until you're like you don't want to eat any more of it.
Yeah.
Because you put it down, it's going to become a mess because there's so much meat. It's middle fat too. It's like those sandwiches where you're at the top of the sandwich, at the peak of the sandwich, if you will. It's like a mountain curve. It's like a bell curve.
It's like a rat turd. It's skinny at both ends, fat in the middle, whatever. So I'm going down. Yeah, I heard that in jail somewhere.
Is that Al?
Yeah, maybe. So I go in. I start to get some of the odds and ends, and I'm looking at the deli counter. It's kind of busy, but I was willing to wait behind 2 or 3 people to get an IGA sandwich. Well, I see someone that I know in there.
Because you can't call it an IGA sandwich.
No, they don't let you do
You'd
that.
think.
Shit. It's a big ticket item,
But my thing was I would just order one and then go run all the errands I've ever ran in my life and come back. This takes like 30 minutes.
No, that's what you do. Like the move is you walk up and you tell them what you want, and then you do your shop. That's the first thing you
do. Your shopping, you take your groceries home, unload them,
take a shower, take your socks off in the alley, grab some rags,
and your sandwich is ready in 10 minutes.
So I'm walking through and I see a person that I know there. And I said, "Hey, what's up, person?" And he goes, "Come here. Look at this shit." And he holds up his just purchased or just, received IGA sandwich. It looked like the size of a Costco hot dog. The dimensions were probably
not like a rat turd, I guess.
No, it was. I mean, a gas station hot dog is bigger.
So it's just a tiny little.
It was.
Inflation's gotten out of control.
It was so small, and then he flips it over, and I see the price tag on it, $7.99 now. So
and it's like a 6-inch, right?
Yeah, it's 6 to 8 inches, give or take, depending on who
That's what she said.
But it's normally 3 to 4 inches tall.
Yeah, and you wouldn't need but a 6-inch sub because and the thing is, like, it's something you get to go to the beach, and you eat it and then go wash yourself off in the water.
This was literally the size of a gas station hot dog. Turns it over. I see it's $7.99. Now that was one of those recession-proof things where it used to be $5 if you got their normal deli meat in it, and it was $6 if you got boar's head. That was the only difference. Then they changed it to $5.99 no matter what. Fine, totally fine. It was still
boar's head. Let's go.
Still big and fat, whatever. Now it's $7.99 and the size of a hot dog.
When's the last time you had one?
Like a month ago, probably. And it was normal. It was big and fat. So in protest, I went and grabbed a baguette. I went and grabbed the meat. I grabbed the cheese. I grabbed the Duke's mayonnaise. I grabbed iceberg lettuce. I grabbed a tomato, which was a terrible tomato. It's all mealy.
I almost stopped at Davis on the way to get you some tomatoes on the way out here, and I was like, I was in the wrong lane. I thought they were closed on Mondays. I was like, because it's tomato season right now. It's just the beginning of it. And if you're not from the South, look, mayonnaise and tomato sandwiches, this is not because you're poor. It's because you're living the life.
Because you know what's happening. Salt, pepper, mayonnaise, white bread.
So all the stuff you bought,
yes.
How much was it?
$34. But that's the principle of it. I'm making 5 sandwiches out of that thing.
You're making one.
Bring it over to me. Bring it over to him. Bring it over to me. I'm making 5 sandwiches out of that thing because I was so taken aback while trying to pick out like a potato or whatever when this guy,
potato?
Oh, sweet potato, whatever.
Oh, okay. So you bought other stuff in that price.
Yeah. It wasn't just the sandwich ingredients that I was buying, but a person that I know felt the need outside because I had my earbuds in and everything. But
I was like, "Look, you need to see this."
Yeah, exactly. But I saw him and said, "Hey," and everything. But he goes, "Hey, come here." And this is the type of dude that doesn't just want to small talk me, and I know that. So when I walked over to him, he was like, "Take a look."
It's almost weird. Why you won't tell me who it is? Or you want to tell us who it is?
Oh yeah, I don't want to blow anyone's cover for
sandwich hating.
Yeah.
He's spreading the gospel though. He's spreading the truth.
I mean, and we're spreading the truth.
He brought
here.
Jesus to a small African village,
and we're spreading the truth here.
White ass Jesus.
And I know this makes 0 sense to people who don't live here.
You're like, I don't,
But I mean,
you've been going to the same place for 25 years.
Yeah.
And getting a sandwich has been the same consistent quality. And thing is, they don't slack on anything on the sandwiches.
Anything.
You get mayonnaise, it's slathered in mayonnaise.
Yes. Sometimes you have to tell them to like hold back on certain stuff.
Yeah.
You know
You get
what I mean?
oil and vinegar, it's like 2 shots at Tuckapoos of oil and vinegar.
If I ask for onions, I'm like, can I look at the onions first? Because they cut the onions like onion ring size.
Yeah. I'm
know?
okay. Load me up with all the good stuff.
That's fine as long as they're
Except for pickled jalapenos. Though. They don't.
as long as it's shaved down really nicely.
Tomatoes, tomatoes just aren't usually good from a sub place. So I'll, like this time of year, if I get Baldinos to the house delivered, as I do, I'm going to get it. If I have a Davis tomato, it's going on there. And it's going to be a problem because it's going to be sliding all around that sandwich.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm going to be just holding it from both sides. Like I'm trying to choke the life out of it.
But that's the thing. If you slice the tomato thin enough,
Yeah.
just like if you shred the lettuce thin enough,
Yeah.
everything kind of
mandolin.
stays in place. And the other life hack, which everyone should know or probably knows, when you get the baguette, if you're making a home sandwich, like I will be doing like I will be doing from now on,
When I get high, you can't talk.
you dig the middle part of the
Did
bread
you shred the
out.
lettuce?
I shredded the lettuce. Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
baby.
I would never buy iceberg lettuce for a fucking salad or
If you blend it with other greenery, it's like you're just kind of you're cutting the salad basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just like the crunch of it. And if you
I do too.
if you put the mayonnaise down on the bottom layer of the bread, and then the shredded lettuce, it adheres.
So yes, you. So here's the thing.
Yes, you.
If I make my own sub sandwich, I don't put the lettuce on top. I go mayonnaise on the bottom, lettuce, meat, cheese, other toppings,
Yes, mustard, possibly
mustard,
on the top,
and then I dip it in more mayonnaise.
Just
So-
turn the sandwich over.
whatever. Kelly.
I want the lettuce separate from the rest of the
Kelly,
toppings.
hey, don't mess with perfection.
Onion
Kelly.
can be with the lettuce, but everything else needs to go up top
So I was in.
or on the bottom, Kelly. I feel like the meat holds it down. That's why
yeah, the weight.
the weight of the meat
Kelly,
hold
the
it down with
weight.
shredded lettuce.
Kelly, the weight of the meat.
God,
This-
you know what? You're not sub sandwich Kelly ever.
Out of the million nicknames that you'll ever
You
get,
cannot be sub Kelly.
I was with my buddy.
This is subpar Kelly.
So no, he's over par, Kelly.
Over par Kelly. I got him.
So I've probably told some stories about this dude before, but his name was Freebird, and we went to meet his dad, and
Yeah. Yes, you have. Some on the podcast, some not to be able to tell on the podcast.
and but this is a part of it that I haven't.
Because he
told.
likes the Masters because of the racism.
So he lived in Claremont/Gainesville, Georgia. So it's Gainesville, but not Florida, Georgia.
It's northeast of Atlanta.
And Claremont, they're like two neighboring counties, towns, or whatever. So the one day we took a break from what we were doing, he goes, I got to take you to this burger place. So he takes me to this burger place, and he goes, get the cheeseburger or the whatever burger with slaw. I was like, I don't want fucking coleslaw on my burger.
Nah.
He
Well,
goes,
maybe.
He goes, that's not what it is. Up here in Claremont / Montezuma, whatever the fuck ever, slaw is shredded iceberg lettuce and mayonnaise mixed together.
I am in.
That is what they call slaw there. So when I typically,
See, if I want coleslaw, I want it dripping with mayonnaise. Shockingly. I don't want no vinegar. That's coleslaw.
shockingly, okay, so I do two different coleslaws, right? If
Don't
it's
get behind this coleslaw cast.
here we go. If it's yeah, because we've accepted that we talk
Only
about
Darren's
food.
put vinegar in their coleslaw.
So I have two types of coleslaw. A side of coleslaw, right? I want it to be mayonnaise-y as F,
Yeah, a touch of vinegar, but
cabbage, little sugar, whatever,
Yeah.
Vinegar, whatever. But whenever I make barbecue, I make red and white cabbage with cilantro, lime juice, and agave nectar. I want it to be, and vinegar, apple cider vinegar. I want it to be really cutting, and because
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
'Cause I
the
put it on-
barbecue's gonna be strong too.
the barbecue is going to be fatty and unctuous. I want
Yeah.
the slaw. What, are you surprised? I didn't know there were. I want the slaw to cut through it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
lime, cilantro.
You want more acid in there than
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
have on a regular
exactly.
slaw. I'm with you on that.
Cut
but
right-
I'll also put that mayonnaise on top of that. I don't care. Look, I've made no secret about my love for mayonnaise.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
not fat. Ah,
Mayonnaise is good for you. We cook with
Thank
it.
you, fasting.
One of my first real job ever was Larry's Giant Subs. And
Animal.
uh,
The animal.
really?
I haven't talked about this before. How much? Okay, there was Larry's Giant Subs where there's now a bar downtown on the corner of Congress and Whitaker. I went there so much, I would call and go, "It's me. I'm on the way." And I wanted a foot-long animal,
Okay.
lettuce, onions, extra pickles,
Okay.
salt and pepper, mayonnaise. That's
So-
it. And sometimes, some days when it was a Friday or Saturday, I'd be like, "It's me, but I want a double. That's double meat." And this woman that worked there, she was like, kind of like white hood,
Yeah.
kind of chick. She loved me. She
Oh, yeah,
loved
yeah.
me. And she said, "When are you gonna make a wife out of me one day?" You know, things totally like that. But I'd go
like-
2
yeah.
to 3 days a week. I was going by there because I'd ride my bike right by there, so I'd just
Yeah,
stop real quick. She's gonna bring my bike in the store, and I'd walk in. I'd give her the exact amount of money, walk right out. It was perfect. Sandwich always ready. And when it closed, I actually tattooed a teardrop in my eye like she had.
Well, there's still, so the one that I worked at was in St. Simon's, and I learned all the lore of it because it started in Jacksonville by like some New Jersey.
Oh, did it?
guy. Yeah, it
I thought it
started.
started in New York,
No, it started in Jacksonville, but the guy was from like
Jersey, or
Jersey
okay.
or somewhere, whatever.
They have all like the people on like on the Empire State Building, you know,
Right? Yeah, yeah.
that classic
It's
picture or the
themed
girder.
that way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was my first real like job, like full time. Half full time. I was still in high school, and so I got the job, and I ate every sandwich there. So what I've finally started getting for myself was the New York special, which is just roast beef, tomato, mayonnaise, salt and pepper. That was it. Because I had, ran through all the other sandwiches, whatever, but they have this number system when you order. So
The animal was 17, I think.
well, no, I'm talking about the number system for the toppings. Okay. So if someone says, I would like an animal with lettuce, tomato, onion, that's all the way one button.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
If they want mayonnaise, mustard, Italian dressing,
Mhm.
that's all the way two. So anytime I go to any Larry's, even though I don't want all those things,
You hit him with the lingo.
I go, I'll take an animal all the way one and all the way two. It's almost like someone speaking like their language.
Yeah,
to
like
them.
Albanian.
They're
You're like, I speak Albanian also.
Who the? And
'Cause I watched another Denzel movie last night.
coolest boss ever too. He was in the Peace Corps. He goes to Jamaica. He marries a Jamaican woman, brings her back, and he's my manager.
I bet she was just nice as hell. Jamaican women are always nice.
She was the most beautiful, and he was like like big fat white dude. His name was Chip, but he was cool as shit. And he put
You
me up.
just said Chip. I would have assumed that's what you meant. Because
He-
there's no white.
yeah, I
I've
could've said-
never
yeah,
seen
I
a black
could've
guy
just
named
said
Chip.
And he put me on so much random music that I had never heard before. We had the best time there. Larry's Giant Subs. Go check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I don't. We got way off topic.
Yeah,
Larry's
it's all
Giant
right.
Subs.
Hey, it's been a sandwich heavy podcast.
It has been a sandwich
anyway,
heavy
so
podcast. Thing is,
whatever.
I really want a sandwich now, and I'm like, I'm
Hey, I've
looking
got
at
the ingredients.
I'm looking at. Well, yeah, but you only have one sandwich left. I'm not taking your last sandwich.
I'll talk. We can split that.
Oh, I'm getting a sandwich. Now I lost track of what I was going to say.
Do you have a?
So I kind of let me think about this for a minute. So, what kind of bread did you get?
From
IG, what kind of bread is it?
it was like sort of I guess like a French loaf baguette, but it was like pretty long. And when I put it in my bag, it broke.
Oh no!
But it broke at the first perfect sandwich. So
Well, you know what broke me?
what?
This goddamn Darren. Okay, this is a Masters related Darren. His name is Alex. I'm going to say his real name because if he hears this, it'd be bananas, and he could talk to me about it. I'm not going to use his last name, but I want to. His last name's pretty cool. That's the coolest thing about him. So I get Masters tickets from this woman named Kathy.
So wait, is this recent?
This happened last week. I was selling my Masters tickets. So I get tickets every year from a friend. She used to work for the guy that owns U.S. Steel. She was did private, or she worked at the country club in Pittsburgh, the guy that owns U.S. Steel, which is the largest steel company, I think, in the world, but definitely in the country. And so he gets, obviously, a plethora of tickets every year. So he would just always just throw her some. So I've been in the Masters twice because she just gave me the tickets. And then for years, she would get a practice round and a regular round. And then she just never figured this out. Which ones did I get? Sunday and Wednesday. And she's like, oh, well, and we got Friday and Tuesday.
Oh, she would get one
She would get 2 sets of tickets every year. And
for
so-
one day.
No, a set of tickets for one day, so like two Wednesdays and 2 Fridays.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So, and then I met her at Roost Chris, and she was a short little lady who'd never worked with a computer, and so everyone was making fun of her. No one liked her because she asked a lot of goddamn annoying questions. But
was she old or
She was older. She was like in her 50s, late 50s then. But I have a soft spot for older ladies, and I stayed and helped her learn the computer system, and was nice to her. And she was also, I mean, she was 5 foot tall. It was a big old booty. Big, like, you know that older white lady booty.
Oh,
it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And she couldn't reach stuff. And I would help
so
her.
fat you could see it from the front.
Yes, but not in a good Miss Fat Booty way. But I would help her out with stuff all the time. So she goes, "Hey, I'm getting Masters tickets this year. If you'd like to have them," and I was like, "Sure." So she gave them to me. And the little guy was like, we had a guy that sold tickets at work. So you can sell them. So she goes, "Well, why don't you go to one of the days and sell the other ones for me?" So I sell them, and she's like, concerned about because if you get your tickets to the Masters and somebody who you sell them to does some stupid shit, you lose them.
Or they find out that you sell them.
Yeah, then you forfeit them forever.
Isn't there a thing?
That's how the tickets go back into the lottery.
Right.
People that do that. And so she was always. So I was like, well, I'll find someone that works with my dad, which I did the first year, and then the next year I needed money a little bit more, and was like, she's like, I got two different days, so I go on Craigslist with the tickets and find somebody who I'm like, and I like, look, man, these are my friends' tickets. I gotta like hang out with you for a minute and meet you. He goes, well, here's what I do. This is what this guy does. He buys tickets from all kinds of people, and he has like packages. People from like Japan and China buy a package deal of X amount of days at the Masters, place to stay, food, drinks, travel, travel around Augusta to take him to Atlanta one
he's
night.
Like a congregator. He's a travel
It's an event planner,
agent.
basically.
Yeah.
So basically, somebody will come out and they'll get you a house. They'll the days you don't have tickets, they'll take you to Atlanta.
But you wanted to vet him first because when you said put it on Craigslist, I was like, that's dangerous.
It is. But I planned on vetting the person first.
Sure.
So I meet this guy, Alex. This is 10 years ago. It works out. I sell him tickets. He pays 90% of average Ticketmaster StubHub value. Perfect. She thinks I'm selling them for a little less than that, so I get a little cut. He always gives me $50. It's not worth the trouble, $50, lady, but that's fine. But I make sure it's going to the right person. And so,
well, what's the markup between?
She gets it for free.
Oh, right. Well, let's say you walked up and bought a ticket.
Like $75, I think, for practice rounds, and like 120, 150 for regular rounds.
Face value is $75 for a practice round,
Yeah.
and I think maybe $100 for.
I think it's 100. I think it goes up to $25 a day.
All
Or
right.
something.
So, and then in turn, what were you?
The two I sold this year were 2 Wednesday tickets. The $1,500 for the pair. That's about the average going price.
Okay, yeah, on the secondary market.
Yeah, secondary market. So I'm like, cool. Sold him, gave her 11. I kept 4. Good money. Now in years past, when if you get an active day, that's $4,000 would have been Friday this year. So for free, I'll give her $2,000 and I'll keep $2,000. And it's because I'm dealing with all the problems. But she didn't get him since COVID. She didn't get him the COVID year. They didn't have Masters that year. So it was it was in COVID happened in early March. Masters in April. No Masters that year. Then the next year, it was still kind of a thing. So she didn't get him then. And then last year, she gave him to somebody in her family as a gift. And then this year she's like, look, should I get tickets? And I was like, yeah. So she used to be up a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I was like, hey, I got these tickets. I'm like, all right, well, you need to get them to me as soon as you can so I can get them to him. So I have to mail them again. She said, well, why don't I mail them to him? I'm like, I'll be the middleman here.
Him being
Alex.
Not the guy you sold on Craigslist before.
This is the same guy I met. So once I met the guy the first time,
Craigslist
I
guy.
sold him to him almost every year after that.
The same Craigslist guy.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'd met somebody else along the line that would also buy them, did similar kind of things. And so I trusted these two guys.
But you've had a good relationship with them.
Because so I dealt with him for 2 years, but he was annoying as shit. And I've forgotten because I talked to him since 2019. How annoying, how Darren-ish this man is.
Because he wanted to, like, constant contact, like constantly messaging
so
you? Okay.
One year I was like, I'm done with this dude. He's annoying the life out of me. So I dealt with somebody else. But this guy was like, he offered me more money than this guy did, but I had to go to Augusta. I was like, I'll drive to Augusta for the day. Brought a friend with me. I go to meet this guy. He's at a radio station. He's a radio station DJ. This is not Alex. This is this other guy. I think his name was George. We'll call him. George is like, come meet me at the radio station.
George at 107.3.
So George tries to big time me while I'm at the radio station about how cool he is and tries to all of a sudden want a discount on tickets. Well, I don't have enough money on me. I get more money set over here. So I got this right now. I'm like, look, man, we locked this down. Is the price. I'm not budging $1.
And I drove up here.
I drove here from Savannah, dude. He's like, well,
on the agreement.
He goes, give me about an hour. I was like, I'm out of here, dude. So I left. Went to Cookout, which they didn't have here. But they had Cookout in Augusta time. Got Cookout. He calls, I got the money right now. I'm like, it's gonna be $50 more. And he's like, what? I was like, it's $50 more. And the guy's like, sorry. I'm like, cool, bye. And he calls me back. All right, man, I got you. I'm like, cool. Went up there, made him count out on the counter, and it was like, took the money, put it in my pocket. And he was like, I'm never talking to you ever again. And the guy hit me up the next couple of years, and I was like, I blocked him on everything. Like, leave me alone. So I'll go back to dealing with Alex. I forget how annoying Alex is. This year, it's been 4 years almost. This dude calls me texts or calls me every 6 to 8 hours. You have tickets yet? You have tickets yet? Hey, I'm going to let you know when I got them. I'm going to mail you immediately.
It's like a drug deal.
It's like, trust me, dude, I'm going to let you know.
We've done this. It's not like this is the first time. We've done this before.
You're the person I've dealt with this many times.
Like at least 9 times. So what are you doing? Why are you bothering me so much? So on last Sunday, the day I get the tickets from her, I'm like, hey, I got tickets. I got tickets late Saturday. Sunday, I'm like, hey, I'll get them to you on Monday. He's like, well, you can go to FedEx today. I'm like, look, I'm not driving into town to go to FedEx. There's no FedEx open near me. And unbeknownst to me, FedEx could have damn near been the Darren, because almost every FedEx you go to is a drop-off spot. Everything must be packaged and ready to mail immediately. They don't have packages. It's at a CVS or a Walgreens or some shit. They don't have things there to buy package. So I went in there with just tickets to like buy it. So I had to go FedEx to FedEx to figure it out. So anyways, he's blowing me up on Sunday. I'm like, look, I'm not going to go today. I live on an island. There's some bridge traffic. I can't get off the island. It's kind of true. And so this dude calls me like 3 times in 10 minutes. I'm at work. I can't talk. I'm not at work. I'm hung over on the couch yesterday after Grant left. I don't want to talk to anyone.
But as far as you know, I'm at work. Respect that.
Respect that. Well, I just need to get some information from you. I'm like, what do you need? Your name, your mailing address, your email address, and your PayPal email. You mean all the things that I would be texting you while I'm on the phone with you? You're not going to write all this down, you jackass. Text me that. I was like, oh, super easy to text this. Here you go. All of it right there via text. Darren, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Darren, Master
Darren. So I send him the tickets Monday. He had a FedEx account set up, so it's already paid for everything. It's overnight. I dropped them off before it's the pickup time, so I know the package is going to go. So the next day, it would be delivery time. At 8 o'clock, she's messaging me, hey, where are the tickets? You the money yet? I'm like, I'm at work. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I message him, hey, do you have tickets? I don't know yet. We're really busy right now. I wait 5 minutes. Hey, did you check on those tickets yet?
Yes.
5 minutes goes by. I call him.
Yes.
Thank God he didn't answer because I was at work. I couldn't talk to him. So in the course of 45 minutes, we have I forced 10 interactions. And he finally was like, dude, I'm working. I'm really busy right now. I was like, remember when I was busy and you kept bothering me? And this annoying as shit. And he was like, yeah, my bad. 10 minutes later, tickets received, money already sent.
It's kind of a turnaround.
Yeah, well, I forced the turnaround.
I like that, though, because
I'm a Jedi Masters, and I forced.
And you found you for.
Yeah, forced them. These are the tickets you're looking for.
These are the tickets you seek.
This is the Darren you don't want to be.
It's so stark and startling to people because I will mirror them when they're doing something like that.
I wear this wig,
and they start feeling how I feel about being, pressured and annoyed constantly.
Yeah, it's such a good move.
And when I'm at work, especially, like people will call or text, and they'll call and be like, "Hey, why didn't you answer?"
I'm Paxton.
Number one, it's me, Paxton Eugene, real middle name. Some people have the courtesy to text back and go, "I'm at work." That should be the end of it.
Yeah, or you can text them what you wanted if it's like a question.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, hey, are you working? Or
yeah. I mean, if I call, I usually text before I call. Hey, I'm going to call soon.
100%.
Because it's easier to be like, hey, you want to talk? Like Vinny called me today because Vinny goes down the street from me when it comes picks up a PlayStation from my house or something. So I'm like, that's a call because he's in the area. Not, hey, what's up? Want to chat for a while? But
Well, see, Clint and I, we have a process. When I get off work, we'll be like, hey, if we're going to have a phone conversation, we're going to text each other.
7 or 8 times.
7 or 8 times.
Until we're like, okay, look, let's just get it over with.
So I guess it was Saturday. I was willing to talk to you.
Yeah, but you couldn't talk to me because I was around too many people. And so Rob got to my house at 4. We didn't start drinking until 7, 6 or 7. His girlfriend 4
p.m.
4 p.m. We started doing what plan was watch the Braves game 4 o'clock Saturday. Supposed to be me and him. Then his girlfriend's going to come. Then she goes and hangs out with goats and doesn't show up till later.
She goes and hangs out with what? Goats?
Yeah, she went to goat yoga. They take baby goats, run around everywhere, and put them on your back and stuff.
Oh, that sounds.
She really likes goats.
Sounds nice.
They look delicious. So,
well, when you said goat yoga, I was like, is this some kind of new Kundalini or do you eat the goat first?
That would be awesome. Or afterwards.
Well, the thing is, goats, they just like to hop on top of things.
Yeah. So if you're doing yoga, they just hop on top of you.
You don't even need to train them.
Yeah. So she shows up. She's been drinking. So obviously, she's had 3 or 4
She drinks at goat yoga.
Yeah, mimosas and goats, or goats and mimosas.
Goats.
You've heard of
That's a
goats and
song.
mimosas?
Goats and mimosas.
Goats and mimosas. So Rob and I are just smoking a bunch of weed. So when someone comes in with a lot of drinking and goat energy,
And you're on
and
weed energy.
we're fully reclined, dude. I mean, we're fully reclined. Even the dog is chilling, and she comes in and she wants to play with the dog. And she's got it's good energy, but it's just not what we were ready for.
Yeah.
So she starts making fun of us because we're both just drinking water. And I'm like, well, we're going to drink water for a while. This day could be long or short. We don't know what we're doing.
It's like 7 o'clock at night, right?
And so finally, she prompted us into drinking with her incessant badgering. And so we both make a drink and another drink. And then Terry's over there, and it's turned into an event. And we're watching basketball.
Well, you had planned on an event. You're
Well,
going to watch.
the initial event planning was me and Rob, baseball, basketball game. 2 basketball games, baseball, and that would be the end of the night.
Oh, just you two? You didn't
I
expect.
didn't expect anybody else. I thought she would show up eventually. So she leaves, comes back with somebody else. And then Terry's like, what are you doing? I got this Roy Jones Jr. fight. Do you want to watch this fight? I'm like, sure. And it's on the UFC app. It was like a UFC boxing kind of thing. And it was some amateur-ass boxing stuff. Everybody was just going to town. But so he comes over, we're watching that. So we're all drinking. It's like 12:45, 1. And I'm like, you don't want to talk right now. I'm trying to get them out of my house. And it took me half an hour to be like, everyone go. And you were like, I'm going to sleep soon. And then, but even then, it was that was just to make them realize it's 1 a.m. It's time to go. And you're like, I'm going to bed soon. And I'm like, I got this. And I'm like, I don't have this.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to play a few more games of Street Fighter online. Text me if they do leave, and you're like, man, I'm getting them out of here in like 30 minutes. So I played a lot of more games of Street Fighter online. I ended up going to bed, woke up the next day. I had a text from you at 4:59. They just left. I was like, oh, at 1 a.m., he was like 30 minutes tops.
Well, I think like half of them left, then half of them, it was just a lot. Like Terry and his girl left, and then the rest of us hung out. And like that was like they left, and then like I was done.
Well, and
It was 3:59.
especially with a boxing match, since Terry's the boxer.
Yeah. Well, and like I had slept all day Saturday.
Yeah.
I slept for 11 hours Friday to Saturday. So Rob texted me at 1:30 about food stuff. I made beef Wellington on Saturday. Texted me about food stuff. That was the plan, was to eat the beef welly. And I didn't respond, so he called me. He knows the trick. I'm not telling you all the trick, but you know the trick, to get my phone to ring through. So he calls me 3 times, and that's 3 times my phone rings through. I wake up, I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, get out of bed. I was like, where are you? He's like, Publix. I was like, oh, shit. I live right next to Publix pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
I don't know the trick.
I'll tell you the trick after the podcast.
Well, no, don't tell me the trick, because I'm not the guy that would ever use it.
Just set it for safety purposes. I'll say
Okay,
something
I
like
got you. Okay, yeah.
But we had a good time regardless. Beef
Yeah.
Wellington was great. Hit it right on the money with the temperature on it. It split a little bit at the top. The puff pastry exposed the meat on the inside.
Did you make a mushroom duxelle and
It was
everything?
the full Monty.
Parma ham and everything?
Everything was done per the classic directions.
Okay, like the Gordon Ramsay version?
It's the Richard's wife version is what it is.
I'm not, I got.
So whatever recipe she uses, I use.
And the middle cut of the tenderloin?
Perfection.
Perfect.
I almost brought a piece with me today, but I was it's not the best leftover.
Yeah.
Because it's filet and it's already medium rare. And because filet is not like, I don't want a rare filet. I want a rare. I'll eat a rare ribeye, but filet I want medium rare.
And the pastry around it's going to get soggy.
It was Saturday. It's now Monday.
It
It's
falls
mush.
apart,
Like I ate a piece of it last night in my feast, and it was good. But like you can't eat it real. Like you just put it on the counter for an hour, and then gently bake it at 200 for like 5 minutes, just to get it to like an edible temperature. So you're eating it like kind of warm. And it's just not the same. Like steaks, you can if you cut up a steak and throw it in with eggs. You should just do that.
It kind of comes
because I didn't have an egg. You have to egg wash the beef Wellington. I forgot about that one part.
Oh yeah, you're not going to get the browning without that, buddy.
Sydney had already been to the store, and I was like, "Damn it!" So when I texted one neighbor, "Hey, do you have any eggs?" "Oh, I'm not town for a week. I don't have any eggs." Text my other neighbor. I'm like, "Hey, man, weird question, but can I borrow an egg? Can I have an egg?" So
does he go? Yeah, you got $20.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got like a 6-month-old child. So he doesn't respond for like 20 minutes. I'm like, screw it. So I got in Rob's truck. I turned the corner back my house, and then the phone dings. Yeah, man, I got you. I'm like, I literally live a quarter mile from Publix, but I was so high and lazy I didn't want to go to Publix. And you got Publix at a damn event. And so I pull back in, walk on the door. He's like, here's an egg. I'm like, thank you, sir. And I'm like, it's the egg.
The egg, yeah.
So we put it on the welly, and then I saved the egg wash because eggs are expensive. You know, it was like
I was
what's
about to
left over.
say, right?
And what we did, we do those smashed potatoes like to do when you smash potatoes.
Yeah.
I egg washed some of those potato smashes.
Wow, I've never.
Bro, those potato cakes were fire.
Oh.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
No new recipe for you guys. So, what we forgot to do last week was check in with Pit Crew Kelly about how he did. But this week, we're checking in with Caddy Kelly. So, how do you feel our round went today?
You didn't lose the tournament today. You can play yourself out, but I think you guys did well.
Didn't lose it, but didn't win it either.
No.
No green jacket.
No.
No, it wasn't the best. It wasn't our best game of the week.
Did we make Sunday though?
We'll see tomorrow.
He's a harsh critic, so
a few guys still playing.
yeah.
We only had one F-bomb.
Yeah, and I did it on purpose because
Oh, we had two then. You had one?
Yeah,
We had two
I
F-bombs.
had
I have one as well.
I did one on purpose. Well, we'd like to thank you guys for listening again this week. It was this is a chippy kind of week. Now we just full disclosure, we came in with very minimal notes.
I had 5 notes. I only used 2 of them.
I mean, if you can, it's not super important, but there's not many notes.
I didn't even use. But I used 3 of my notes because the other ones are like just quips. You know, like
But
you can't take the heat, take a shit in the kitchen. You know, that's kind of a.
But we thank you for following us on Instagram. If you do, if you don't, it's From Behind the Barcast on Instagram. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/From Behind the Barcast. We have a YouTube channel.
Please follow, subscribe, like. Thank you. Shout out Hockey Joe for commenting on our YouTube videos and commenting on our Patreons. Thank you, Hockey Joe. You're the shit.
Hockey, before we end here real quick, I meant to tell this story earlier. So Joe comes in every Saturday and
Is he
Sunday.
Golfy Joe right now?
He comes in every Saturday and Sunday because he's my bud and we get to chit chat. You know, he's a comforting, presence for me. And luckily, Mariah, his wife, came in on Saturday for a little bit. She normally doesn't like to be up there because it's a madhouse up there. So he goes, "Hey, I saw you pouring." So, all right, I'll tell you a secret. When people order IPAs that are on the inside taps, I turn the hazy IPA tap around where they can't see it, and I pour that for them and give it to them. So they're like, if they want a southbound IPA and we're busy, I give them the hazy IPA and tell them it's the southbound. If they want a Pog IPA.
And how often has someone been like, "Hey, wait a minute"?
Hockey Joe, he goes, "So I saw you pour a bunch of southbound IPAs last night." I was like, you know my trick. Last night, this dude came in. He goes, "I asked for a southbound." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I gave you." He goes, "No, I saw you turn the."
I called you straight out.
And Joe sitting there like,
Hey, you got it. Yeah, that's perfect.
but yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you so much, and we will see y'all next week.